See, there you go. So right away, you know that this is a project that has some legs. Definitely. Is there any other attraction out there right now that is similar at all, or do you think you have something on your hands right now?
Could you say
that
what
is
it's
going to be
not?
brand new?
Maybe it's not this.
In this area of the country, there is nothing even close to this.
That
That's
tells
why-
me nothing, Brian.
It's not bumper cars.
But that's a good thing, Flavor.
No,
Yes.
That's awesome.
The
It's
surprise
not a
is still
bumper
there.
car. In fact, the person that I approached in the city government said to me that he has been approached in the past by people over the past 7 years, and nothing has been close to the idea that I've presented to him, which is very exciting. And I'm just hoping that we can get this done before some large company comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to do it now."
Right.
And maybe somebody that listens to Costa Radio will say, because I know you do have a lot of important people. Everybody's important, but some big top executives that sometimes listen also that might say, "Hey, who is this guy?" And maybe they'll try to reach out to me.
There
That's
you
true.
go.
That's one of my hopes as well.
Now, getting back to the feasibility study, you've got a wife and you've got kids. Is that right?
I've got a wife, I've got 2 kids,
And you've
I've
got
got
just
a full-time job.
and it's a regular job. So how
And
much?
it's a regular job.
How much does a feasibility study cost?
The feasibility study can run anywhere between $25,000 and $100,000.
Okay, now now we get a credit card debt.
Well, that's why I'm calling you, Mike. Actually, what I did is, the one thing you don't want to do is spend your life savings, right?
Right.
Or spend money before you've earned it. So I went to another member of the city government and I said, "Hey, I want to bring this theme park to your city. It's going to obviously have a tremendous impact on your city as far as financial, taxes and things like that, and just the whole presence of it there. But what I need is some starter money to fund the feasibility study because I can't do anything without that.
Mm-hmm.
So right now he is out there searching for me to find money from various entities to fund the feasibility study.
There you go.
Yeah.
No money out of his pocket. Except you got to go to wherever you went to talk to this guy, I guess.
He's trying very, very hard. I mean, he also has to be careful about what he reveals about the project because basically anybody that I talk to as far as details go, I have them sign a non-disclosure confidentiality agreement. Of course, this is an exclusive for Coaster Radio, and I haven't revealed full details. And that's fine. Even if I do, it's up to me, of course, right?
Right.
This is actually very interesting.
I like the mystery,
Yeah,
though.
this is like very mysterious.
You
as
know
we get
this
through.
is going to be a forum topic.
You should
it's
totally
going to be
put,
Brian's Park, and then everybody's going to have their
mysterious
guesses.
music underneath all of this.
You know it's going to be.
He's like Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can. No, really, I can make a theme park. Give me $25,000 for a feasibility study. It'd
Well,
be great.
yeah, and that's the start. One of the CEO of this large ride manufacturer. Again, I'm being careful about revealing company names and people's names because I haven't cleared it with them. But this guy is the CEO of a very large ride manufacturer, and he estimated based on the description of just one of the attractions, the main flagship attraction, just the designing of it will be at least $1 million.
Oh my gosh.
Not to build it, just to design it.
Brian, I was kind of wondering. I guess when did this idea first come into your head? Like, were you just sitting around one day and you just said, "Oh, I have this idea to make an attraction," or where were? I guess I kind of want to know where were you and just how did it all occur?
Well, I love the theme parks. As you know, I live in the Tampa area, so I love going to Universal, love going to Disney, and I look around at some of them and I say, these are great, but I think I can make them better. Some of the rides you get on, and they're short, they're too short, they're too slow, maybe they shake you around too much, maybe there's not enough theming, maybe there's too much theming, and it's the same kind of thing that Disney did. I'm not trying to compare myself, but he kind of went to places and said, I need a place where I can go and enjoy myself and the kids can enjoy themselves. And it's kind of that same premise. I was thinking, how can I really make this an exciting, immersive experience that and where's the perfect place that I could put this? And that's kind of how it happened.
So it's basically been a lifetime of going to theme parks and thinking I could do this better.
Yeah, I've kind of been running with this idea, I'd say, for the past year.
And see, this is pretty interesting because you compared, this experience to sort of what Walt Disney did, and you also said that, people are saying that you're crazy, but remember when Walt Disney was doing Disneyland, they were calling it Disney's Folly. They were saying that he was nuts and why would you even want to do this? But then look what it became later.
I remember.
And the other thing about this is where I'm planning this location is literally in the middle of nowhere. And that's going to be the hardest obstacle, I think, as far as the financing goes. People are going to say, well, even with a feasibility study, they're going to say, what's going to get people to go out to the middle of nowhere? And I'm going to have to sell this one.
I have an idea of where it might be, and I won't say it. I won't say it out loud.
So do I too.
I think most people are starting to get it in their heads, but
Yes.
but we won't necessarily reveal it.
But if it's where I think it is,
Oh yeah.
it's close enough to something to where you could make that a major, kind of a fun road trip.
I like the idea too that it's in the middle of nowhere, because Brian, you've emphasized that a lot when you were talking about this. So it's sort of like forcing people to make it a destination park, because it's if that's like the main thing,
And it would make it worth it that way.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
and
that's what most of your destination parks are like.
And part of your sell would be it would like advance the economy of the area that you're choosing. And since it's a destination park, it will just really like up those standards. So,
that might make it more successful
Yeah,
and more possible
the strategy-
because it's not just some suburb regional park.
Exactly. So I think that you're doing a really good job in trying to sell it. I'm curious to see how it goes. So certainly keep us updated. I really want to know, like, as far as the business side goes, because that's what we never see. We always talk about how cool it is to make a ride and the naming process and stuff, but really the guts and the finances, that's really where it's at.
And it's also encouraging that you all are still talking to me and haven't hung up yet.
Yeah. Everybody's reaction is like, you're crazy, but the reason they say that is because they don't have enough, I guess, guts or an initiative to even try it themselves. So, like, of course you're going to say, like, the person's crazy, but later on it turns into admiration because they actually did it.
Well, what did everyone say to you when you started Coaster Radio?
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
basically.
God. I mean, if you read like the reasons for us, like when we have it, it's even in our website. We're like, this is a crazy idea. That's the first sentence. So yeah, we understand where you're coming
And that's exactly
from.
what I was saying at the beginning. When somebody tells me something's crazy, I know I'm onto something.
right.
Yeah.
There you go. I am relieved though that Brian did not say, "Well, I got the idea when I was kidnapped by aliens. And they told me to run up the credit card
I'm
debt."
saving that for another show.
That's right. See, he's roping us. See, it is like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's roping us in, and
Yes.
it's Catch Me If You Can.
I mean, I'm pursuing this because so far nobody, except some close family members, everyone, of course, says I'm crazy, but nobody's saying stop doing it. So I'm going to keep trying, and I'm going to try to make it happen.
This is something that we, as just coaster enthusiasts and theme park enthusiasts, never ever get to see. And I think that's what's great. We're going to really learn about how this process goes.
So when is your date with the market research people? It's coming up? What did you say? Next week?
I am meeting next week with the company in Orlando.
All right. We expect an update.
Absolutely.
Awesome. See, that's going to be the next step. He's going to get that started, and then we can find out the results of that, and then moving on.
That's right. And what's going to be fun is as we go along, down the months, we're going to learn more and more about this project. Today's first interview is just like a little taste.
This is a theme park appetizer.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right.
There you
go.
Oh, very good.
Martian Mystery.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming on with us, and we're looking forward to not only hearing from you on the forums, but also in future episodes of CoasterRadio.com.
Mike, it was my pleasure. It really was. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
So I don't know, guys. That was a very mysterious interview.
Very mysterious.
It was mysterious, but it was encouraging because, like we said, like throughout the interview, we called him crazy, and he admitted that people called him crazy too. But it's amazing that somebody's actually going forth and doing this.
Right. And see, I'm very pleased to find out also that he is somewhat normal, and he
Yes.
comes across normal and all this stuff.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to track this and see sort of the behind the scenes of how an attraction like this gets developed.
Especially, the boring stuff is actually the more interesting stuff to me
Mm-hmm.
because we already know, well, you put the bolts together, you pour the concrete footers
Right.
and all this stuff, but you don't know, well, you lobby the city board members
Mm-hmm.
to get the funding for the feasibility
It's
study.
amazing how much goes into the behind the scenes of it, not just the building of it, the actual
yeah.
planning and the money, the finance of this. It's amazing.
But what's great is that Brian, I think, is going to give a lot of access to not only us here on the show, but also the members of the forums. And,
Yes.
he'll actually go on there. He's Coaster Capital. And you can actually go on there and maybe ask him a question. And, if he can answer it, I think he will.
Yeah. And so, like, this is sort of a prompt to the forum members. I knew this was a very curious topic from the beginning. People were like, I think one of our forum members wanted to, like, he was talking about, he made this
How
whole
can I
spiel.
do it?
Yeah, how can I do it? I mean, everybody kind of like said, like, go through this process, do this, and do this. Well, this is the guy who's actually doing it.
Yeah, so we will be able to track with Brian and kind of see how the progress of this park is going. And maybe, a month or so down the road, maybe 2 months, we'll hear from him again and check it out. So I think that's going to be good.
This is CoasterRadio.com.